made this painting like last spring. I was really inspired by hibiscus and I really wanted to paint and see how it looks. And somewhere through the process, I got very uninspired, mostly of the background. So I had the hibiscus painted, but I didn't know what to do with the background. And at that point, I was just painting green in the background. And halfway through the painting, I just felt very uninspired and I just wanted to give up. But just to complete the painting, I ended up going and doing that green background, and which I ended up really hating. So I thought, why not use this canvas and make something new from it? And I believe I used a little bit of oil painting in that, and I know it's a taboo, you're not supposed to put acrylic on top of oil. But I had to put this black acrylics just to give myself a fresh start. And it worked really well. I'm like dabbing and giving it a little bit of texture. I didn't want those lines appear in the canvas, and because I knew I was gonna make a lot of mess, I had to make sure I cover my floor, and somehow I still got a lot of paint on the floor. Somehow it seeped through the holes. Anywho, so once the paint dried out, I found this inspiration online. This is definitely not my creation. I'm just trying to recreate something that I found. And over the past few months, I went under this journey of like sketching something every single day. And so I pull up my small notebook and I just sketch whatever I'm feeling like. It could be my coffee mug, it could be like a sketch of my husband. I've just been having fun, and all of that I think really has helped me make my, I guess, the movement more free, and I'm able to use the brush more freely. I think before I used to like hesitate a little bit, but this is, I think, helped me to be more free when I'm creating. And I am just really terrible at portrait. Whenever I try to paint a portrait, it just end up looking really haunting for some reason. And so that's why I'm going for this more of like artistic, colorful kind of portrait where I get to like play around with shadows and colors. And so I'm just adding like a base layer of white to give it some dimension, and highlighting like makeup basically, the cheekbones and the lips, and the hair is just gonna be kind of crazy with just a lot of colors on it. Right now I'm just outlining what I want it to be, and I just wanted to just do it straight with paint instead of trying to pencil, especially because this is already black and I don't have a white crayon or anything. And I'm just slapping some paint over it. I really want the white to show up a little bit when I'm done painting, so I want to keep the white a little bit, and then I'm just gonna put more color on top of it. And I'm being more intentional about how I want the texture to look. Because it's hair, I want to be a little bit straight and a little bit curls. So this is just shaping up to be nice, I think, and I can't wait to put color on top of this. And now comes the fun part. I have always wanted to do this, just like throw some paint on the canvas wherever. I'm just gesturing where I want the paint to be, and they're probably more than likely just going to stay there. That's the fun about acrylics. I don't have to worry about it getting all muddy because it dries really quickly. And all of these paints I was just given by some of my friends who were moving, and they had this extra paint supply, and yeah, it worked out really well for me. And I'm just gonna use knife mostly because it just allows me to again be less restrictive in terms of, I don't want to get too worried about what the face will look like. I just want to play with colors, and I think knife just offers me that flexibility. And where I want to be more precise, like for example the eyes and the lips, I'm gonna use the brush there. But for the rest of the parts, I'm going to try to use knife where possible. I also really love the texture it gives. In some places the paint is kind of just gonna stay, and so there will be really nice texture after it's dried out, and I want to keep that and not make it all even. Here I layered in some white and blue, and another thing I love about using the knife is the paint just carries through. So you can see I'm getting some really beautiful greens, and the yellow and blue and white are kind of showing up naturally without me doing anything. All I'm doing is just taking my knife and moving paint around a little bit, and I kind of like that effect that it's having. I'm getting all these different colors that I hadn't anticipated, so I'm just letting it happen, and I'm not trying to be too worried about what color I want. Even though I started the painting as inspiration from something online, and at this point I'm just kind of going with whatever colors I have. I'm not necessarily concerned about the color that was in the picture. As you can see in the inspiration, I'm just trying to find the closest color and kind of going with it. Here comes the part that I dread a lot when it comes to portrait, because this is potentially where I can destroy the entire painting by not painting the nose correctly, or maybe the eyes is out of proportion. Even though I'm not going for a realistic look here, it is important to at least make the proportions right so it actually looks visually appealing. And so here I'm going to use the brush and try to distribute the paint evenly and also get that shape. It needs to look like a face, and I don't know why, I just can't seem to get a nose right. So here I'm really like making sure that I get the nose correct and the proportions right. I think I'm out of the danger zone, which is I put my nose and lips and eyes, and now I'm going to give the eyes more definition. And this is one of my fun part, because it's like I'm putting makeup onto this painting, and I'm gonna make some nice eyelashes and paint the lips pink or reddish. And yeah, this is the fun part, which is where I get to have a little bit of fun. I mean, the entire process was fun, and I get to play with colors, but this is like where I know the painting is pretty much almost done, and I'm really happy with how it's turning out, and I'm satisfied, and it's definitely way better than that hibiscus painting I have underneath it. And in this way I get to use my canvas, reuse my canvas if I don't like it, and that is the whole point, right? Like, I don't want to have a painting sitting around in my house that I see and not enjoy. And yet I know that it's part of the learning. I tried something, I did not like it, so it's okay to repurpose that, and we should not get too attached to the work. And sometimes we feel bad about getting rid of the canvases that we don't like or painting over it, but I know that I did that, and it's in my memory. I have memories captured, and so now it's time to move on and create something new on top of that old painting. And I am loving it, and I think I'm gonna go back to a lot of my old canvases and try to bring them to life now that I have learned something in the process, after months of practicing. And who knows, maybe tomorrow I might find something better to paint, and I might paint over it. I don't know. The point is just keep learning, keep exploring.